There's a quiet truth most men never hear, not because it's hidden, but because it makes them uncomfortable. We've been told attraction is about status, wealth, charm, even looks, that if you do enough, show enough, prove enough, you'll be chosen, you'll be loved, you'll be wanted. But what if I told you that very mindset, the one that tells you to chase, is the very thing that repels her? What if I told you the more you reach, the further she slips? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Women don't chase men who want them. They chase men who master themselves. And that's not just about confidence. It's about control. The kind of control no one else sees, but everyone feels. A man who's grounded. A man who doesn't perform, doesn't impress, doesn't seek permission to be what he already is. A man who knows, deep down, that the only approval he ever needed was his own. This isn't a trick. This isn't pickup. This is ancient, philosophical, stoic, because the greatest form of power isn't dominance. It's self-possession, the ability to stay rooted while the world pulls at your attention, the strength to remain still while others react, the discipline to lead without needing to be followed. When you live like that, she feels it. Everyone does. And the chase? It begins the moment you stop running. But to truly understand why she pulls away when you chase and leans in when you don't, we have to start with the biggest mistake men make in attraction. Let's start with what most men get completely wrong. They think attraction is something you earn from her, like a prize, as if you can bargain your way into being wanted, be fun enough, be rich enough, be needed enough. And that mindset, it's poison. Because when a man seeks a woman's validation, he hands her the frame. And the moment you give away the frame, you lose your power. You're no longer the center of your own life. She is. And no high-value woman wants to orbit a man who's circling her. Why? Because attraction doesn't grow in need. It grows in presence. Think about the men women chase. Not because of looks, not because of money, but because they exude something rare, non-neediness. They're not proving anything. They're not chasing. They're simply living fully. And women, they feel that difference instantly. Stoic philosophy teaches your power over your mind, not outside events. That means you don't control her feelings. You don't control her reaction. But you do control how you show up, how you stand, what you chase, and what you allow to disturb your peace. So when a woman senses that she cannot shake you, cannot move you emotionally unless you choose to be moved, what happens? She leans in, not because you're manipulating, but because you become rare. The kind of man who values himself enough to never chase anything that doesn't align with his center. So if chasing is a problem, what's the alternative? It begins with something invisible, quiet, powerful, something most men never fully master: detachment. What draws her in isn't your smile. It isn't your physique, your wit, or your bank account. It's your energy, and more specifically, your detachment from her reaction to it. Most men don't understand this. They say the right things, wear the right clothes, even adopt the language of confidence, yet still repel the very women they want. Why? Because underneath all that, she can feel the need, the reach, the hidden desperation disguised as charm. But when a man has detached, when he no longer needs her to respond a certain way, no longer builds his mood around her mood, everything changes. Suddenly, he becomes unpredictable. Not because he's playing games, but because he's no longer playing at all. He's moved beyond approval, beyond outcome. He's not afraid to lose her, because he's already found himself. Epictetus once said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things beyond our control." You can't control her attraction. You can't control if she stays. But you can control how rooted you are in who you've become. And paradoxically, when you stop trying to hold on, she starts trying to stay. Because a woman is drawn to the man who doesn't tremble at the thought of being alone. She's drawn to the man who moves forward with or without her, not out of bitterness, but out of purpose. And that sense of forward motion, without needing her in the frame, is what makes her want to be in it. But even detachment isn't enough if your emotions control you from within. What separates the rare man from the reactive one is how he holds himself when tension rises. Control isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about channeling it. Most men either explode or collapse. They chase when they feel ignored. They pull away when they feel uncertain. They speak when silence would serve them better. They seek attention when all they really crave is grounding. But here's the secret she'll never say out loud. She's watching how you handle the storm. Not the external one, the internal one. Can you stay calm when things don't go your way? Can you maintain poise when your ego is poked? Can you lead the energy between you, not by force, but by stillness? The man who can master his inner world commands every room he enters, not with noise, but with presence. And presence is power. It's why the man who barely says a word can captivate her more than the one who performs. Because emotional stability is rare, and rare is valuable. Seneca once wrote, "A wise man is content with himself." That kind of contentment radiates. You don't flinch when she tests you. You don't break when she pulls away. You don't chase the highs or react to the lows. You remain the same man, calm, centered, complete. And when she sees that, she sees strength, real strength, the kind she can lean into. The man who doesn't need control becomes the one who has it. And even with emotional control, one thing must drive everything you do. One force stronger than pleasure, validation, or desire: purpose. You were not built to orbit around a woman. You were built to build, to create, to lead, to become. Yet most men forget this. They make her their center, their goal, their reason to move. But the more you make her the source of your purpose, the faster she disconnects. Why? Because a woman does not want to be your purpose. She wants to join a man who already has one. Purpose isn't something you perform. It's something you embody. It's how you walk, how you speak, how you spend your time. It's what drives you when no one's watching. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Purpose means building your body, mastering your craft, pursuing something greater than attention. And when you live like that, everything else becomes effortless. You stop chasing women because you don't have time. You stop trying to impress because you become impressive through your consistency. You stop waiting to be chosen because you already chose your path. And that is what draws her in, not because you need her, but because she wants to be around something real. Purpose is magnetic. It keeps you aligned. It keeps you from folding under lust, insecurity, or boredom. And it makes her feel one thing most men fail to provide: safety through direction. You don't have to dominate to lead. You simply have to walk your path, with or without her. Let me know when you're ready for the conclusion. Be the man she doesn't want to lose. Shall I write the final part now? And when you walk in purpose, when you've mastered your emotions and released the need to chase, something changes. Not just in how she sees you, but in who you become. Here's the truth most men refuse to accept, because it demands more than charm, more than tricks, more than effort. You don't attract women by chasing them. You attract them by becoming the kind of man they don't want to lose. Not because you made her laugh, not because you fit her checklist, but because in your silence she felt something she can't explain. She felt your calm. She felt your self-respect. She felt your refusal to be moved by things beneath you, and your devotion to the things that matter. You didn't need her to see your worth. You walked in already knowing it. You didn't try to convince her. Your presence already proved it. That is rare, and women chase what is rare. The unshakable man is not defined by how many women he gets. He's defined by how little he needs to chase any of them. He is driven, but not by desire. He is focused, but not on her. He is whole before she ever touched him. She sees that. She feels that. And while most men burn themselves out trying to earn attention, the Stoic man receives it, not by strategy, but by becoming solid, unmoved, unapologetic, unforgettable. So if you've been chasing, stop. If you've been proving, let go. If you've been performing, return to stillness. Because she's not looking for a man who needs her. She's looking for a man who doesn't flinch when she pulls away. A man who makes her feel safe, not because he clings, but because he stays rooted. Be that man, not for her, for you, if this message spoke to you. If you're the kind of man who values discipline over desire, presence over performance, then this isn't just a video. It's a signal. Subscribe to the channel, because this path of self-mastery isn't meant to be walked alone. Stay focused, stay grounded, and I'll see you in the next one.